Welcome to Rhythm and Tech, where music and technology come together to create a beat like never before. Your hosts Kate Hill and JX Mullins bring their expertise and passion for both music and technology to the microphone. Join them as they explore the latest trends, innovations, and stories at the intersection of these two fascinating worlds. So sit back, turn up the volume, and get ready for a journey through rhythm and tech.
Ladies and gentlemen, techies and creatives, welcome to Rhythm and Tech, the podcast that combines the beat of technology with the rhythm of creativity. Y'all know who it is. I'm Kay Hill, and my partner on this journey is
JX Mullins.
Together, we're bringing you the latest tech news that's relevant to your mission and hopefully help to take your creativity to the next level. Now, this week, we're going to cover a couple of things. Of course, we're going to tell you about the app of the week. We're going to talk about the Drake and the Weeknd, AI track. We're going to talk about why I love Ralph Lauren so much, Polo and Ralph Lauren so much and whatnot. Another thing I want to touch on is we've gotten some critique. We heard you. I've been listening. My partner's been listening. And I want to talk about, some of the things we're doing to improve some of the critiques. So, John, what's going on with you, man? How you been over the last couple of days?
Man, just busy, as always.
Okay.
But who's critiquing me?
Who's critiquing?
Like, this sound like beef.
These are your people critiquing us. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good thing. It's a growth thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely looking at it as, constructive criticism. So I'm definitely, I'm listening to you guys, and anything that you guys feed us that I think can help us make this stronger and better, I'm definitely wide open to it.
What's the joint from back in the day when it was like beef is when you walk around with two grenades?
Biggie didn't say that.
Somebody said that.
2 grenades?
2 grenades.
Oh man, Biggie said beef is when you scared to go to sleep. I'm paraphrasing right now. But nah, man.
I think it was Bermuda with Styles.
Bermuda with Styles. Wow, you really went back. You really went back in the days on that. For those who not familiar with Bermuda with Styles, it's one of the homies from around the way who used to rhyme from back in the day. John just pulled that out, man.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
What'd he say? His threats FedEx?
I don't know, man. Bro, I don't know.
The critique got me in like beef mind state. Like, it just took me back. Like,
and you know what? This particular part of the conversation reminds me of one of the pieces of criticism that I heard. I heard that our podcast sounds like a phone conversation. It doesn't sound like we're speaking to our audience. It sounds like we're just having a phone conversation. At first, when I first read that, I'm like, what the heck? It kind of left me confused because I'm like, what the heck, is that necessarily a bad thing? Or is it? Because I'm like, we sincerely talk about rhythm and music and tech and stuff on the phone like all day, every time we talk. It's definitely not our regular phone conversations, because if it was, if you heard some of the stuff we talk about, you probably wouldn't be listening to us right now. You know what I'm saying? It definitely get a lot more raw and raunchier than this. But I say that to say that, if we do sound like we're having a phone conversation, it's an authentic conversation. We're not trying to come off as know-it-alls or anything like that. All we're doing, we're saying, hey, look what I found. This is how we're using it. Hopefully you can use it. If you have a better way to use that resource, can you let us know about it, either in the comments or, send us an email or anything like that? We're definitely not trying to come off like gurus and whatnot. If we veer off and get a little personal or get a little, too deep in our dialogue between each other, it's because we friends for real. We're not just business associates and nothing like that. Like, we kick it for real, on the air and off the air. John, you got anything you want to chime in with this week, bro?
I was just thinking about, what you were just saying about our conversations and stuff. And I think that it really plays into like the guests that we have.
Right.
We had Ollie Goins on the show. That's another friend of ours that, he's really he's the silent partner in this venture with Rhythm and Tech.
Absolutely.
And having DJ on, some people were like, well, why you have real estate? Which, a lot of it was, his music dealings from back in the day. But I learned a lot out of that conversation. And really, when we bring on guests now and in the future, it's people that we can learn from and we feel like everybody else can learn from, whether it's directly with music or whether it's with technology. You know, there's some kind of thread in there, but that's where we're coming from with our guests.
And the guests gonna get crazier and crazier. I'm telling you. And as far as DJ, talking about real estate, I mean, don't you want somewhere to live?
Yeah, I mean, he posted a joint today in Durham for I think it was $299.9.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I was like, I really want to jump on that house, but my funds tied up right now. I can't do nothing to the first of the year. But
yeah, and it's definitely not the last that we've heard of DJ either. We're working some things out with him right now where we could bring him in more frequently and whatnot. You know what I'm saying, for the episodes. I want to jump into my apps of the week. My man Ali Goins, last episode, he was like, yo, what happened to your apps of the week? Like, I'm looking for that. I'll be looking for your apps of the week and whatnot. I didn't think anybody cared, man. And it's dope to hear that somebody care about, the apps of the week and whatnot. I don't even care if this is the only reason that you listen to this episode or whatever. And once again, I want to get a disclaimer that, even though I'm talking about the app of the week, it might be something that you already knew about, but I just found out about it. And I'm sure somebody else, will probably find out about it. Okay, so my first app of the week, I got 2 this week. I'm hot, right? My first app of the week is a music-based app. The app is called Basic Pitch by Spotify. I'm very impressed with this app. I tried this app. I gave it a little trial run, and I'm highly, highly impressed because I tried to do something like this back in the day, and it didn't work. But now it does. This app can transform samples or any type of sound. Like you might have your favorite song and you will be humming your favorite song. You don't know the words, but you'll hum your favorite song. But anyway, it could transform any sample or any type of sound into a MIDI file for manipulation. Any manipulation tactic of your choice, whether you want to, replace that MIDI file with a VST or whether you want to rearrange the MIDI file, however you want to use it, you could take a sample. And when I say a sample, I don't mean just like a clean wave that came from like a sound pack or something like that. I mean, I actually put something in there that was sampled from vinyl, just to like really push the envelope to see if it could break it down into MIDI files, and it did. It did. I loaded it in my DAW. I think I was using Logic Pro when I tried it out, and it worked. It worked. If you since you're listening to the show, I'm gonna give you this little reward too for listening. If you load it into FL Studio, though, I think it'll break it down into layers. But I think in Logic Pro, you would have to like copy it track per track and, manipulate each track, you know what I'm saying, however you want it. But I think that's a dope resource. It'll actually help you sample less. It'll help you break creative blocks, as far as coming up with bass lines and melodies. Is it cheating? Not really. Not in my eyes. John, do you got the website for that? Because it's actually a site and not a downloadable app. You'll have to use it on your desktop.
Yeah, it's basicpitch.spotify.com. But one thing I also noticed is for those that are technically savvy,
go ahead, bro.
You can also use Spotify's GitHub, and it actually tells you how to install it using Python. And you can actually write scripts to do multiple ones, not just one at a time.
Not just one sample at a time?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't know any of that. See, that's why you're here, bro. You're here to elaborate. You're here to go into detail.
Yeah, and I think this. I mean, I haven't tried it out, and I will, later on.
I did, man, and I'm telling you, I'm like, wow. And I'm trying to figure out, what I'm trying to figure out is what's Spotify angle with this. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I don't know if they even really got an angle for it. I think it's showing off their technology.
Right.
But, some companies have what they call a 20% rule where employees get to commit 20% of their time a week to their own personal projects.
Right.
And to me, looks like something that may have come out of it, because I'm just looking at the website for it, and it's got made with a green heart at Spotify.
Okay.
And it says Nerd Out at Spotify podcast. So this sounds like one of those internal employee things that somebody was working on as a personal project.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that they will be releasing more projects like this in the near future?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's what it goes back to. Okay, what are they trying to expand into? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know if it's so much expanding. It's just because the thing is, like, breaking stuff down into MIDI files, you're not violating any copyrights, because you're not sampling anything.
Right.
You're breaking it down into the notes. That's just if I sat down at a piano and recreated, what I'm listening to. It's just this is an automated way. I think this is cool in itself.
It's fire.
Because if like somebody like me, like I really enjoy music, and I've always loved using MIDI. Even back in the day, like I don't know if you remember the program Cakewalk.
Yeah, of course.
I used to write songs in Cakewalk just of programming the notes, the MIDI notes, and then using the keyboard.
Oh, that's FL Studio. That's all the dolls now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, everything's built off of MIDI, but back in the day, you had MIDI keyboards, but before it became where everybody could afford it, was when I was writing off using Cakewalk.
Right.
Man, that just took me way back.
Yeah, it did because
Cakewalk.
I mean, for real, it's like if you had Cakewalk back in the day, you was like a god, like straight up and down. Whether you knew how to like fluently use it or not, like you was a god because you had, first of all, you had a computer.
Yeah.
And then two, you had a music program that could record, that could turn your computer into a studio when everybody, and their mom didn't have it or whatever. But I guess this technology is so dear to me because I used this type of technology years ago. Like I just went online one day and I searched for some classical MIDI files. You know what I'm saying? And I found a bunch of MIDI files and I'm like, I didn't know how they work. I'm like, dang, man, where am I supposed to open these at? So I loaded it up in FL Studio. And one of the first beats I made was actually the beat that plays on this program. You know what I'm saying? Every time it comes on. I made that from manipulating a MIDI file. And I was just blown away because it's like, okay, I could take that, I could rearrange the notes however I want to, and I could take those same notes, copy it to another track, change it to a different instrument, and voila, I got another layer. So I got my strings, I got my bass line, and I can, go in and, play my own little parts, to it and whatnot. And, just like that, I'm like a one-man band off of a single MIDI file. And I just think that's so dope. But once again, that app is called Basic Pitch, and it is an app by Spotify. Okay, the next one I want to talk about. It's not a music app. It's just a tech app or whatever. I think it's so dope though, and I'm pretty sure that it's a couple of other programs out here like this. But this app is called Speechify. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Speechify. I found this one last night, and once again, it's another app that I tried out. Speechify will read any document. Well, I'm sorry, let me go back. You could upload any document, right? You could upload a PDF. You could upload a digital book that's probably in PDF format. So I'm kind of, repeating myself. But I think what really got me is I took a picture with my phone. I took a picture of some text with my phone, left it in the picture now. I didn't convert the picture or anything like that. I didn't extract text or anything like that. I took a picture of some text and I uploaded that picture into Speechify, and Speechify read everything that I took a picture of. And not only does it do that, but it'll read it and it'll allow you to export that file to save it, as, the file format of your choice. And it also let you change the voice tones on it too. The only thing I didn't see, and maybe hopefully it comes with a paid version, but the one thing I didn't see was the ability to, load your own voice in there, or, load whoever voice in there that you wanted to. But it already has some preset voices in there that you could change, to change the tone of whoever is reading the text or the text photo that you uploaded. I just think that this is it's a super dope app and whatnot for so many reasons. Two of the reasons that I could think of right now is if you wrote a book, you know what I'm saying, and you don't want to pay somebody to change it to an audio format, you can just upload it in this program right here. You got your audio book just like that. Or if you are self-conscious about your voice, your speaking voice. Voila, somebody else could say it for you. You could be a ghostwriter, just like that. But the simplest thing about this that really got me is for people, and I say this respectfully, for people who can't read. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
for people who cannot read, guess what? This will read it for you. And I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like they just fought illiteracy just like that. I mean, of course, you know, you want to be able to read yourself, but that's a real strong tool to really help you, you know, read some documents that has literature that you can't pronounce and whatnot. Once again, that app is called Speechify. You know, like Spotify, but it's Speechify. And yeah, those are my apps of the week, brother. What you got?
I'm just looking at the website now for Speechify. And
It's the first time you checked that out?
yeah, I
Okay.
think I've heard some advertisements for it, but I haven't really played with it.
Right.
But looking at it, I mean, they list voices of like Snoop Dogg and Gwyneth Paltrow. So, I mean, they got to have the ability to clone voices,
Right.
but I don't see it as an option
To load your own voice.
to load your own.
That would be awesome, dude.
But it talks about being able to do AI voiceovers, and because it's like if I did an audio book and I wanted to be read, I wanted to be read in my voice.
right.
So I'm wondering if it's just listed in a way that, you know, it's not just standing out as, hey, you know, we'll generate your voice. But I will tell you about an app that will do that.
Okay.
This
Now,
is
does it work just like this one though? Or would you have to like
from
this?
from looking at the website without going into the website,
Right.
just looking at it, it looks like it
Right.
is it's a company called 11 Labs,
Okay.
and you go in and you put in the text that you wanted to say, and then you can create. It's already got some preset voices,
Right.
but it's really good at intonation of voices, the inflection of your voice, and it's got different settings you can play around with. But you can record a 1 minute sample of a voice, and it can clone it. And I think this kind of goes into what we were talking about, one of our topics for tonight,
Okay.
about the Drake and
Yep.
the Weeknd.
Yep.
Is,
Nice segue.
is that if somebody had the acapella of Drake,
Right.
then they can load it in here and it can clone it. And
They got them a hot Drake 16.
right, and then all they got to do is go in and type the words, and the AI cloner, and the way AI cloning is, the more information it has,
The more it could rock.
the better it works. And then you could go in the, say, Chat GPT and say, write me a 16-bar verse in Drake style,
Right.
with the Weeknd singing, and it can come up with a whole song. And literally all you do is copy and paste the whole song and put it over into 11 Labs.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Chat GPT got some weak bars, man. Like for real. But it puts you in the ballpark.
But it goes to another
It's a
thing.
great scratch pad.
Well, the thing about Chat GPT, and it's all about the prompting.
Right.
And I tell people, I had this conversation at work because somebody was like, you know, every time I use it, it just gives me like, I feel like I'm talking to Google if Google was a person.
Right.
And I'm like, you have to tell it to pretend to be something because of the way it works. So like if you want it to be a marketing person,
Yep.
you have to tell it, pretend you are the top marketing person in your area. I need a marketing presentation for X, Y, and Z, and I want to incorporate these things. And you'll get a totally different answer if you just went in and put the same thing in, but cut off the pretend that you're the top marketing executive. Because what it does is it takes all this information,
Yep.
and then it just focuses on the marketing, where if you don't put a good prompt in there to focus it down, it's looking at all this information.
You know, it's kind of crazy that that you brought that up. Like I've been digging real deep for like the last 2 weeks. Like I've been really locked in. And the one thing I've been noticing is the word prompt. Like prompt. Like for those that's not educated on, you know, the whole Chat GPT, you know, chat search phenomenon and whatnot. Prompt is what the information that you feed these apps in order for it to generate the information that you want to get back.
Yeah,
Prompting is a skill within itself.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you have to have the ability to prompt well. in order to get, useful information that you want, to be able to apply it and to get the most out of it, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what there's a lot of jobs. Well, I'm not gonna say a lot, but there's a few jobs out there now for what they call prompt engineers that's all they do is come up with prompts. I mean, there's even a website that sells prompts. Kind of like,
serious?
yeah, it's kind of like, the websites that sell stock images and stock sounds.
That's awesome, man. That's like that's kind of another form of artistry.
It is.
I mean, seriously.
So
who got the dopest prompt?
So there's a website called PromptBase, PromptBase.com.
Yeah.
And you can find and sell your own stuff up there. And you got stuff for DALL-E, GPT, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, looking for whatever style or whatever you're looking for.
So it really is a skill. Being able to prompt, knowing how to prompt, that's actually a skill set.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, we're really in the future right now. You want to talk a little bit more about that Drake and Weeknd joint? Because I've been reading all about it, but I haven't even heard the jam yet.
The thing about the Drake and Weeknd, I think it's really going to be I ain't gonna say it's a death toll for the music industry, but it's really about to get wild out here because I heard the joint briefly, and I ain't gonna say it's like the best Drake Weeknd. I mean, it's not a Drake and Weeknd song. But if they had put somebody else's name on it and somebody else's voice, it probably could have passed as a real song. Now, I ain't gonna say it was gonna be a chart topper, but think about this. I lack rhythm. You're the rhythm of the Rhythm and Tech podcast.
Jesus.
I'm not even gonna lie. So
what are you here for? Now let me stop you.
But now with the way things are, I could literally go in. Hell, I could even sample my own voice and then go in, have Chat GPT or something write my bars for me. Then I can go have one of the AI generators create a beat for me. And I've created a whole thing, and I've never even said, a word.
So you mean I can give people that K Hill, that other K Hill album that they've been waiting for, and I ain't even got to step in the booth? That's crazy, yo. I
want to give them the K Hill and Superstition. You remember the dude from what was it, Atlanta or somewhere like that?
Oh, the other Superstition.
Yeah, the other Superstition.
Oh my God, man.
You remember I begged you to do a joint with
Not
him.
the real Superstition. Shout out to my man Cam Moore.
Yeah.
But you said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the thing about it is, everybody's been like, oh, AI is, like the music industry is losing their mind right now because they're like, anybody can get a Drake verse, anybody can get a Lil Wayne verse, anybody can get Katy Perry. But the thing about it is, legally, the only thing that was wrong with the song that was put out was the Metro Boomin tag that Metro puts on all his beats was up there. So when UMG issued the takedown request to YouTube and Spotify and all of them places,
right,
they did it based off of that one tag. Mm-hmm. So like literally if whoever created that goes in and chops that off
right,
or takes it out and puts it back out, can't nobody touch it because he's the copyright owner for that music. As long as he doesn't advertise it as Drake and The Weeknd,
right,
he's good. Because I told somebody the other day, I was like, think of the fact of Action Bronson and Ghostface.
You got to stop using that, bro.
I mean, but it's the only, or let's say Biggie and Shine.
Right. Okay.
People that sound alike, but they're not. They're real human beings. So it's just like Action Bronson if he came out with an album or Shine came out with an album and purposely made it in the vein of the artist that they sound like.
Right.
But as long as they don't put their name on it, it's still their album.
Mm-hmm.
Now, reception is one thing from the artist, fans, but legally there's nothing that can be done about it. And the same thing with this is as long as people are creating these AI generated artists that sound like these other artists,
right,
legally there's nothing that can be done about it unless they're using something that's a trademark or that's copyrightable.
Right.
And I think that's why the music industry is losing their mind right now, and that's why UMG jumped up real quick to try to scare people. But they're counting on people not knowing the fact that the takedown notice was because of the Metro Boomin tag, not because of the artist sounding like Drake or the artist sounding like The Weeknd.
But see, one thing that really upsets me is when this type of technology comes out, right? The first genre that it's aimed for is for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying it's for black music. I'm saying it's for hip hop.
Well, we've had this discussion before on this podcast.
Did we have this on this podcast before?
But honestly, I agree with you to a certain point, like I did last time. But I think the reason that this is hitting hip hop first
is because that's the kind of format that's what we do.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we chop and screw and sample.
Not even that. It's a spoken word music,
right.
So it's easier to do an AI voice
right.
Speaking. Now, do I think it's going to come to having an AI that can sing?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, that's coming. And when that does, you're going to have a whole lot more of the music industry pissed off. But I guarantee you right now, everybody in the music industry, not just the rap portion, they're putting all their funds and stuff to try to figure out how to stop this because they know, okay, it's already came for rap.
Right.
It's definitely going to come for all these other genres.
All right, Fantasia, baby, you still got time to make that song with me, man. Like, you still got time for I have to go get that voice myself. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm playing. But now see, that's malicious though. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who use that type of technology for something like that, that's malicious.
Yeah.
Because these artists are alive, they're well, and this is their career. This is their livelihood. But now on the flip side, this is the way I've been looking at it now. I'm looking at it from a fan perspective. Okay, like DOC, the rapper DOC.
I saw your tweet and I was like,
right.
And
nobody, it seemed like, people just left me hanging on that. I'm like, people gonna like really rock me on this. But the DOC lost his voice over 20 years ago, right? And like when for those who don't know, the DOC, rap with Dr. Dre. He was one of Dr. Dre's artists, like right after NWA, like I think right before Ice Cube went solo, somewhere in between that fine window. DOC was like one of the best rappers in the game, best voice, best delivery, hands down. He didn't get to make another album due to a car accident.
Yeah, that's a straight up tragedy.
Now I'm like, but DOC did continue to write over the years, wrote some great jams over the years for different artists and whatnot. So this is where I'm at now. I'm like, okay, if DOC still possessed that pen, and of course he still could get great production, all he have to do is plug his old voice in, and he's back. And I will allow him to get away with doing a lip sync show because I know what's going on. But it's his voice. It might be his old voice, but it's his voice. I would love, I pray to God that somebody tell the DOC about this technology, man. Like Erica, Puma, tell DOC about this technology so he could go finish his career properly. I would love to see that. I would love to see Beanie Sigel do the same thing. Even though he got a little bit left, he got way more than the DOC had left. I would love for Beans to go in and be able to get his voice at his maximum.
Hold on, what happened to Beans' voice?
Beans had like a oh God, I don't wanna misquote what happened. I think something with his lung. He got shot. You know what I'm saying? He got shot a couple of years ago.
I missed that.
I'm just gonna say accident for lack of knowing what really happened. But his voice got impaired.
Oh, okay.
Still can rap. Still got the bar. Still crazy. But he's not the Beans that he was with, Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Man, I hope somebody tell him about this technology and he just be like, hey, I'm going to go record this album and I'm going to plug in my old voice. I'm going to go out here and do these shows. They know I'm lip singing or I might, say a couple of words, but this is my voice. This ain't no Milli Vanilli, type deal or whatever. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of this could save some careers, man. Like people who don't even got the same tone in their voice anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's kind of like, you watch movies and where they de-age the actors and stuff.
Right. Like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Right.
And I forgot the movie with that had Robert De Niro and it had like all of them and like when they de-aged them, like it looked horrible.
Right.
Because I'm not knocking them or whatever, but instead of like they were so much older in the main part of the movie.
Right.
That when they show their younger selves and they de-aged them, instead of them going from like 70 to 40, they look like they went from 70 to 68.
It's crazy, man. Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, but I think they did a hell of a job on Robert Downey though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like he looked just like the old, you know what I'm saying, like him when he was younger. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But that's the way I'm looking at that technology. I'm looking at it like, it could be piracy at an all-time high, but it could save some careers of some people that we love.
But
man.
Is it really piracy? That's the question. Is
you're stealing somebody's voice, man? That's still somebody's likeness. That's still somebody's likeness, bro.
But they say we all got a twin out there. Some might get created sooner than others.
God didn't create that twin, though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
God created the scientist and the programmer that came up with the program. And see, that's the other thing. Like, I'm on two sides of the fence here because
okay, go ahead, bro.
As somebody that really enjoys music, I can see the cases like we talk about the DOC and Beanie Siegel using it. But on the other side of it too, I'm looking at it from the person that actually put this, like the Drake and Weeknd song together.
Right.
I guarantee when he put it together, it wasn't like, oh, let me see how much trouble I can cause. It's like, hey, I got these tools. Yeah, check me out. Like, this is what I...
Okay, wait a minute, bro. Why he sell it, though?
I don't think he did sell. Well, I mean, he put it up on streaming platforms.
You get money off of that. Why he sell it?
I mean,
See, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't sell it, okay, that's one thing. If you put it up on SoundCloud, all right, hey, check out what I got. But when you start putting it on them streaming platforms, it's like, okay, what's your real goal here? You know what I'm saying? So,
last time I checked, they still hadn't identified him. And I think if he had put it up there where he had his checks coming in, they would know exactly who he is.
Well, no, it's just...
correct me if I'm wrong, you can put stuff up without having to get a check off it, can't you?
I don't think so, bro. I think you're still gonna get, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to cash out. But they got to go somewhere, it's gonna stack up somewhere, But yeah, man, that's how I look at it. I'm not gonna say I fully embrace it. I can understand record label and artist concerns, but on the flip side, I'm like, man, look at the good that this technology could do though. Like that's the only thing about it, And what I was saying about, hip hop music being attacked, I know we touched on this earlier, but think about it, John. It's something every day. It's almost something every day. It's almost something every day to make, the type of music that we create more and more accessible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and part of me wonders is because the reason hip hop becomes, I hate to say the primary target, is because it's the most popular music platform there is.
It is.
I mean, amongst all demographics. So you got these, I hate to call them tech heads, but you got these techies out there that are doing this stuff, and they're like, okay, well, I love Drake, I love The Weeknd. Let me create this Drake and Weeknd song.
Right.
But it's gonna be hell to pay when Chris Stapleton AI comes out.
Or, you're going crazy.
Or Reba McEntire.
Yeah, she gonna shut it down, dog. Like straight up and down.
I mean, and part of me is like, I get it, and I get it from all sides. Especially, I wouldn't want anybody to copy what is my main way of making money, but at the same time, I look at it like the creativity it can spawn. Mm-hmm. Like, just think about the artists that you always wanted to work together, but never did.
Right.
And now you could actually put them together. I mean, it wouldn't be the same. But something I was thinking about while you were talking is, and this is just my brain, how my brain works is, give me two artists. No, I'll pick two. I'll pick two artists.
I can't pick the artists. Okay.
So
go ahead.
I'm gonna pick you.
Okay.
So let's say I take all your lyrics that you've ever written.
Yep.
And I load it into a large language model like
LLM.
Yeah, like ChatGPT. So it analyzes your writing, and then say I pick a singer like Ella Fitzgerald.
Okay, phenomenal choice.
But
bro.
Y'all at two ends
of the spectrum. That's right. Yep.
So I take her lyrics and all the information about her music and load it in there, so it analyzes it.
Right.
So then I asked it to write a song combining your styles, which I mean, it would have. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I'm just doing this from a 10,000 foot level.
Right.
It probably could come up with a pretty good, accurate song that's
A collab,
creative.
like a collab? Yeah.
Because I think about because you've got several songs that you've had with R&B singers, and that's the thing is like when you load these songs, you would have to identify, okay, K Hill did this song by himself over this type of beat.
Right.
He did this with an R&B singer, like, the songs you did with Tiffany Page or the songs you did with Keisha Chantel, and I can't think of anybody else.
Right.
But I know you've got several. And the same thing with Ella Fitzgerald. And I mean, you can get down into like the beats per minute and all that. And I'm pretty sure it'll come up with something. And I got to feel it will be really dope.
I mean, it's dope. It's dope on some like.
Because I think of like, what was it, Danger Mouse?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's dope on some DJ, type stuff or whatever. Some stuff where it's for the art. Now, another thing is good for for the producers that's trying to shop songs or shop beats. Is good for reference tracks.
Yeah.
Like, hey Buster, I want to sell you this beat. You don't think it works? This is how you sound over it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It works, don't it? So, Buster could be like, yo, that sounds dope.
How many artists are going to get lazy, though, and be like, you know what?
Hey, man.
Write out lyrics here, type it in for me.
Hey, but guess what? How much more music are we going to get from some of our favorite artists?
Oh, I know.
And then for all we know, John, this is how I feel about any technology. If I found out about it, everybody knows about it. It's too late.
Oh, yeah.
That means it's been out there. This technology probably been around for a long time. And I got theories that I dare not discuss in public. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this technology has been around for a long time. It's just that, the public finally got a hold of it and whatnot. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things. And I will say with this, though, I think the lead time is a little bit shorter because when you're dealing with technology with this type of sophistication, it multiplies so fast.
Right.
Because now the computer is learning from itself, so it's going at faster than what humans can. So we don't have that same lead time like we had before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you gotta be on it now, man.
I mean, you really do.
You really do gotta be on it.
I mean, because we already got the point, and they haven't talked about it in a while. But I remember 2 years ago there was talk about. I think it was Google. It might have been another company.
Who?
Google.
Who's that? Who's that? Microsoft said, "Who is that?" Yo. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
Bard said, "Don't forget about me."
I'm telling you, yo. And you know what? I was listening to no. I was looking at some news station today. They're saying that Bard is a little bit tighter than
Nah.
No.
I go back and forth between Bard.
Okay, so you actually study it out.
The thing that I like about Bard is it gives you the option after it tells you what it is to search Google, and it'll show you like where it pulled everything from.
Oh, about Bard?
Yeah.
So they'll show you source material.
Right.
Okay.
But it's still garbage.
Wow.
Like to me, it's like it's the Siri of
Microsoft.
Not
Microsoft.
Google.
But,
Bard is the Siri of the voice assistants, where Microsoft right now is like, I would say Alexa before Alexa decided she want to sell you something every 5 minutes.
So Bard is basically trying to play the catch-up game.
Yeah.
So they just want it's like a placeholder until they like figure out everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looking at it, I can tell it's like they weren't expecting Microsoft to go as fast as they did that quick. Like they knew it was coming, but they were like, "Oh, we really got to get our stuff out there."
I tried Bard out for the first time today.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her the question that the same kind of question that I would ask Chat GPT. You know what Bard did? It kept asking me other questions in between.
Yeah.
Like what color of this or what size this? It's like they stalling until they can get time to get information. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why are you stalling? Tell me what I want to know right now.
Yeah.
Like Chat GPT. Anyway,
Chat GPT, I think
it's not.
It's the first out the gate, and I think I think they'll be overtaken eventually. But I think what's going to overtake all of the AI stuff is now everybody's trying to put the brakes on it because they're like, whoa, wait a minute, we got out there too fast. Because I know the CEO of AI said, they're not doing GPT-5. We're on GPT-4 now. They're not doing GPT-5 this year.
Honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like they've given people enough access to do like some serious, for lack of a better term, damage. It's too late now.
My thing is, I'm not even worried about what the people can do. It's going back to what we were talking about when we first started this little bit of when you asked me who was Google. A couple years ago, there was an article about AI that had been created, and it actually created another AI.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard much about it lately. I need to go back and look at it. But that's the thing that we have to worry about with AI. Because right now, it's like it's a toy for most people. It's like, oh, well, let's see what it can do. I mean, there's some people out there that are really using it for business.
Yeah, for real.
But it's what you said. If you know about it, everybody else knows about it. So
that's how I feel about myself personally. It's like when I found out about Bitcoin and Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
By the time I found out about it, it's like it's through the roof now.
Man, I'm still mad about Bitcoin. I was reading up on Bitcoin when Bitcoin first launched. Well, probably like a year after launch.
You know what?
And I was going to buy some. And actually, I think I did buy some, but it wasn't much. And I don't know where the wallet is or anything because, it's not a physical.
I'm telling you, yeah.
So, I tell people now, like, when it comes to tech, like, if your instinct says jump on it, jump on it.
Yeah.
Because that's how a lot of people, that's how I missed out on Bitcoin. Because I was just like, my gut said, get it. And if I'm not mistaken, I did buy some. If I bought it, it was no more than $10.
Right.
Which, I mean, now is.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I missed out on that. And that's life changing, Right. I mean, and I'm sorry to get off on a side thing.
No, you good because it actually applies to what's going on now. What they call it? They call it FOMO, fear of missing out, right? The same thing applies with this AI technology. Some people are jumping on it because they don't want to miss the next phenomenon or next craze that's coming through. Some people jumping on it because they really see it as a resource and whatnot. So it's the same thing. It's some people that look at Bitcoin as like a resource. They think it's gonna save countries and all types of stuff. So we didn't veer off too much. Like it's still a part of the same, the same thing still applies. Let's put it to you like that.
And that's the thing, like with ChatGPT. Well, you know me. As soon as I heard about it, I was on it.
Bro, I thought you was like a rep, a sales rep for you know what I'm saying. But
I felt, see, that's the other thing is I fell off of it because I put a lot of people onto it, but I haven't used it the way I should have. Like I am now. Yeah. Matter of fact, here's another app. Like I'm giving all the apps.
It's Rhythm and Tech, baby.
There's an app called Notion, and you can use it. Basically, you can use it for whatever you want to. Take notes, manage projects, and all that. I'm using it basically to keep my life together.
I didn't mean to laugh, bro.
Right, but and the thing is, it's called JX's Wiki, like Wikipedia, where I literally got links where everything ties together.
Okay.
But now it's got AI built into it. So literally, when I get onto a page, if I create a page for something, I can just hit the space bar and it'll bring up a list and it give me suggestions like, do you want to create a social media post, or do you want to create a marketing scheme, or like it already suggests stuff, or I can just tell it what I want, just like ChatGPT.
See, and my question is starting to be, what's the catch with this? Because I seen the app today, right, where they have integrated ChatGPT into a text, into a phone number, basically. Like instead of you opening up a browser, going to ChatGPT, you go in the Messenger and you type what you want to know, and bam, it pop up. So I looked at the site when you register to get the app, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing it asks you is, yo, what's your phone number? And I was just like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I've got a Siri shortcut on my phone called SGPT.
Right.
And you install the shortcut. When you first run it, it asks you for your OpenAI API key.
Right.
And, because I use the API, I've got one. I put it in there. And then every time I run that shortcut, it pops up and it's ChatGPT on my phone, but it's also got it set up, and I'm still learning how to do this, but it can interact with other Siri elements on my phone, so it can control my phone. I ain't had time to play with it because I mean I got 10,000 things on on my plate.
I'm starting to see a pattern, man. Like it's getting scary out here. I seen one. I think you might have sent this to me. Health GPT? Was that you? Or
No,
did
that
you
wasn't
send me?
me.
I seen one called Health GPT. I don't think it's an app yet. I think you got to know some kind of, what you be talking about, like Python and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think you got to know all that to be able to utilize it. But I seen it, and it's something that kind of supposed to help you with, some medical stuff that's going on. Like you can almost do your own research, prior to calling a doctor or something like that. I don't know how good I feel about that. I'm still with the reading the books, about the natural remedies and herbs and stuff like that. So
the first one that comes up when I did a search for Health GPT,
right,
is it's an experimental iOS app that allows users to interact with their health data stored in the Apple Health using natural language.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one that you've actually got to, you got to do a little bit of
programming
behind.
Yeah.
And then, but that's through Stanford.
Who sent me the one about taxes?
Oh, I sent you the one about taxes.
Is that legitimate?
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Yeah. Well, you send it questions, and what happens is it'll give you an answer, and then sometime, I don't know what the time frame is, they actually have a tax professional come back behind it and verify that it is correct.
No charge.
I think there is a charge.
That's worth it though, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a CPA in your pocket.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Taking it too far, huh?
I mean, pretty soon that's what it will be. I mean,
oh boy, that's wow, man. Didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole, but we went down that rabbit hole, man. But nah, man. I mean, but yeah, we definitely went down the rabbit hole. We definitely sound like we was on the phone, But all of these things applies to the culture in some shape, or form. It all applies to the culture. Like you want to be healthy, you want to know about your taxes, you want to know about real estate, you want information. Like you want information. The more information you have, the better you're gonna be at what you're trying to accomplish and whatnot. So anything we talk about up here, it applies, in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, the next thing I'm about to talk about, I'm gonna kind of go off a little bit, but I think it's important to mention because I think it's a really dope story. I'm not a real big fashion head or whatever. Like I don't spend a bunch of money on clothes. Like if you know me, you know most of the time I'm rocking a t-shirt, or if I do rock a button. Now if I do rock a button up, I'm rocking a polo, and that's what this is about. I'm a huge fan of polo. I got on a polo hat right now. Like polo has always been like a huge part of the culture. Some of my favorite rappers rock polo, all that stuff. I was about to cut back on buying polo because of how expensive it is, for such a, for such a simple, thing or whatever. Like, I just want a regular, blue collar shirt, but I guess because I got the red horse up there, I'm gonna pay like, an arm and a leg. But something that kind of changed my mind and whatnot and really, made me look at Ralph Lauren different, is the fact that Ralph Lauren is gonna be a part of a cancer prevention center, I think in DC. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and read. I'm gonna read the headline. The headline says Georgetown announces new Ralph Lauren Center for Cancer Prevention to address health disparities in Washington D.C. That headline alone is just so fire. That made my personal stock in Ralph Lauren go up that much alone. But it says Ralph Lauren Corporation has made a $10 million donation to the Georgetown Lombardi Comprehensive Cancer Center in Washington, D.C. The donation will be used to establish the Ralph Lauren Center for Cancer Care and Prevention, which will focus on providing access to cancer screenings, prevention, and care for underserved communities in the D.C. area. The center will offer patient navigation services, clinical trials, and other resources to help patients receive the care that they need. The donation is part of Ralph Lauren's corporation broader commitment to supporting cancer research and care. And I think that's fire because we all have loved ones that are either currently in the battle with cancer or have succumbed to the effects of cancer. And the fact that, one of my favorite brands chose to, jump in and help fight the good fight, I think that is fire. I'm not getting a check from Ralph Lauren. I'm not getting a free shirt from Ralph Lauren, but if they hear this and they want to show some love,
Definitely.
they definitely. I rock the pink shirt, just in representation of the fight and everything, man. I just wanted to touch on that lightly, man, and I just think that that's fire. You know what I'm saying, John? You got anything else right now, bro?
I think any corporation kicking in money like that, especially cancer is one of the things that we made big strides. In the last 10, 15 years, compared to the 100 years before with cancer.
Right.
But we still have a long way to go. Being someone that has worked in pharmaceuticals and biotechnology and life sciences I'm getting old.
Go.
For over half my life.
Go hard.
I've seen, I've worked with, help work with medicines that are used for cancer, some blockbuster drugs that have helped a lot of people. But, like I said, them donating the money, research is still needed because as we all know people that have been affected by cancer, some that have beat it and some, unfortunately, that haven't. So,
absolutely. I think what really got me, though, is the fact that they chose to set up shop in underserved communities, man. That's because, any medical condition you're going through, it's going to take money, for treatment and everything. And I think that I feel like the fact that that's where they chose to go first speak eons, man. I know their PR is like popping champagne right now because they did a hell of a job with this one, just from the way it looks, just from the headline alone. Like, I just think that's fire. And I'm going to buy me some more low. That's what I call it low. I don't even say the whole word, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to the outlet, man. I'm buying me some more low, man, because I know that my dollars are going to be going for a good cause. So, yeah. Ralph Lauren Polo, salute. You said you had something else?
That's all I really got.
That's all we got for this week, man. Okay, well, hopefully we didn't talk you guys' head off. We didn't get too personal and whatnot. It didn't sound too behind the scenes. We just get in. We talk about what we talk about. We talk about what intrigues us. We talk about what we love. Like I said, once again, we don't try to come off as experts, but
it's something we enjoy, like music and technology. One thing I do want to say is, when we first started out, we said we're going to do this, every Wednesday, and
life happened.
Yeah, like. We've had overwhelmingly good response to the podcast. Numbers look great and everything. It's just, we're both grown men and we got responsibilities. So, and plus, I'm in school right now full time and just a lot going on. So the podcast may not. I'm going to go ahead and guarantee you the podcast probably won't come out every week.
But you know what?
We're shooting for every 2 weeks. But, we're not going to leave you hanging.
Nah, and we're going to come with a quality episode every time. But follow us on our social medias because it's like whatever we don't do here, we're going to do there or whatever. Hopefully we can do everything, simultaneously. But we're going to we're going to do everything we can, while we expand that. Everybody that's here with us in the early stages, thank you for sticking it out with us. And like I said, it's just a little rough patch right now, but we ain't gonna stop. We ain't gonna quit. We're gonna keep it going. Before we get out of here, I want to give a huge, crazy, solemn rest in peace to the musician Ahmad Jamal. If you know who he was, If you don't, I'm gonna give you a little information. I'm gonna be reading from what I see on his Wikipedia page, just so I can make sure I don't, misconstrue any facts. We lost Ahmad Jamal on April 16, 2023. He was an American jazz pianist, composer, band leader, and educator. For 6 decades, he was one of the most successful small group leaders in jazz. He was a National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Master and won a Lifetime Achievement Grammy for his contributions to music history. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you've been listening to our show, I told you guys that I hadn't become familiar with a lot of artists before hearing how their music was used in hip hop songs. That's how I learned about a lot of jazz artists. That's how I learned about a lot of R&B artists, in other genres, you know what I'm saying, from back in the days. But the one thing, the one of the main things that intrigued me about Ahmad Jamal's the people who sample his music was the classics, the timeless classics that was made from his music. My favorite one, and I think one of everybody's favorite one. I mean, people who don't even know Ahmad Jamal's, extensive catalog. Most people know, if you're ahead, most people know that Nas, The World Is Yours was a Ahmad Jamal sample. Matter of fact, that was the first time I've ever heard of Ahmad Jamal. And I'm not going to hold my head down in shame. I'm going to be thankful to Pete Rock for, keeping that name alive and bringing that name, back to the forefront or whatever, outside of the jazz community. But what I didn't know that Jay-Z's Feeling It was an Ahmad Jamal sample. And another one that blows my mind is, and this is one of Underground's favorites, man. De La Soul, The Stakes Is High, is an Ahmad Jamal sample. I'm talking about the main part too. That piano that so many different bands and so many different producers and then try to recreate and whatnot. That's Ahmad Jamal. Another one, Fat Joe, the Is Real DJ Premier remix. The video version, not the version that's on Fat Joe's first album, but the one that the black and white video, the one that DJ Premier. I didn't know that was Ahmad Jamal. Gangstar's Soliloquy of Chaos, which is one of my favorite Gangstar joints. Ahmad Jamal. Oh, let's get a little more current. ATM by J. Cole. And that's one of my favorite J. Cole joints, man. Like, I thought it was Kendrick on the hook for a long time. Anyway, count it up. You know what I'm saying? That J. Cole joint, man. That's a Ahmad Jamal sample.
So something I want to jump in real quick.
Go ahead, because I had one more.
So one of the things, and you're talking about, not realizing who he was and everything.
Right.
One of the quotes that's attributed to him says, "Many fail to realize this great recording industry was built by so-called jazz artists, and at the other end of the spectrum are based in European classical music as well." That's
crazy, man. I mean, I didn't know that so many people sample his music, though. I thought, seriously, I kind of figured that, the Tribes and, the De La's and, you know what I'm saying, I kind of figured that they touched this records, but I didn't know that it went as far as J. Cole and, Anderson .Paak, Room in Here. And it's countless others. It's countless others that has sampled this brother's music. I just want to say, man, rest in power to such a dope musician. I am going to go down the rabbit hole of his catalog. I know he will be sorely missed, and his music will live forever. And I want to say thank you for the gift. Rest in power, rest in musical heaven, Ahmad Jamal.
And I'm gonna leave the audience with one of his quotes as we shut down for this week. Ahmad Jamal said, "I would like to be a scholar in whatever I do. A scholar is never finished. He is always seeking, and I'm always seeking."